Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. What do sharks and maids have in common? Ellen. Yeah, even after making so many videos, I'm still not sure how to start them. In this video, you'll learn everything you need to know about Zenless Zone Zero's debut S-rank agent, Ellen.
Thank you for your patience. 3 sharks sink if they're not moving, you know.
Ellen is the first shark that I've ever been interested in for reasons.
Touch my tail? No.
Ellen Jo is an inpatient shark student, a part-time fantastic shark maid, and a lollipop enthusiast, evidently. Eclectic taste in food for a shark aside, Ellen is a fast-paced, ice damage dealing melee character in Zenless Zone Zero. By the time you finish this video, hopefully you'll also have a degree in Sharkonomics. This Sharkonomics course will teach you all about her kit, W engines, aka weapons, drives, aka artifacts, Mindscapes, aka Constellations, her best fellow school of sharks, aka teams, and most importantly, whether or not you should pull for a shark.
Thank you for your patience.
Let's start off with Ellen's basic attack, Saw Teeth Trimming. Out of the box, these start off by just doing a bit of physical damage. You should try to avoid these as they don't deal ice damage. Ellen's enhanced 3-hit basic attack combo, especially the last part of it, deals massive ice damage. This is where a plurality and sometimes a majority of her damage comes from. In order to enhance her basic attacks, she needs to obtain flash freezes, indicated by these icons. To get flash freezes, she needs to do her roaming dash attacks. By dashing and holding the dash key, or double tapping the dash key, she'll enter the roaming state where she runs really fast. While in roaming state, you can simply tap the basic attack button to perform dash attack Arctic ambush. This will generate 1 flash freeze upon hitting an enemy. Alternatively, by simply holding down that fishy basic attack button while roaming, Ellen will then charge her scissors to do a charged scissor attack. It will generate 3 flash freezes on hit. This charged scissor attack also has some additional bonuses, including some interrupt resistance and reducing damage to Ellen by 40% while charging, plus a brief invulnerability window during the scissors attack itself. A quick trick to speed up her charged scissor is to quickly double right click to enter roaming state, then immediately hold the left mouse button to charge the scissor attack. This will actually buffer it, allowing it to come out as soon as possible. Then you simply anticipate when it will be fully charged and release the left mouse button. Anyway, now that you have up to 6 flash freezes, we're back to Ellen's enhanced basics. Each part of the 3-hit basic attack spends 1 flash freeze. And looking at her multipliers, we can see that the 3rd hit has a massive 948.2% multiplier, way higher than those other wimpy little multipliers. You're incentivized to stay on field during her B3 and mash left click in order to extend the number of hits on her B3. So basically, just mash a bunch of left clicks in order to do a ton of ice damage with her enhanced basic attacks. And an added bonus to her enhanced basic 3 is that Ellen will move behind many types of enemies to start attacking them from behind. This can often help her dodge some attacks. And up next, we have her special. She has 3 versions of her special, so let's go through them. The first version, Special Attack Drift, is when you use her special attack while she has less than 40 energy, which is indicated by this marker on her energy bar. This version of her skill deals a tiny bit of ice damage and is pretty much useless. However, for her X special, Tail Swipe, when she gets at least 40 energy, she'll do this cool double tail swipe, dealing nice damage and generating a flash freeze charge. Not only that, but you can follow up her X special with her B3. But wait, that's not all. Ellen has a 3rd variation for her skill. You can use her X special again after the first X special tail swipe in order to do the second part of her X special, Shark Nami, at the cost of another 40 energy. The second part also generates a flash freeze and deals a thick shark tail's worth of damage to the enemy. And similar to X1, you can follow up her X2 with her enhanced basic 3. Correct specials also have some additional properties. They are invincible throughout their animation, so they are great to use in a tough spot. Also, do keep in mind that the follow-up B3 has no invincibility. They also deal a high amount of daze and anomaly as well. Up next, we have her dodge-based abilities. There's a lot of them, and they're all pretty standard dodge-based stuff, but one of them does require us to dive into the details. Her dodge counter gives her a quick charge, which allows her to charge her scissors much more quickly. Now, there's also not much to talk about in regards to her various assists and chain attacks, as they are all very standard. It is worth mentioning for her chain attacks and ultimate that they do hit really hard, so you generally want to try to use them when you have the opportunity to. But wait, her core talents increase the crit damage of her basics and scissor attacks by up to 100%. Oh, and her faction bonus, which is if a member from Victoria Housekeeping or another ice character is on her team, gives her up to 30% ice damage. So yeah, Ellen is loaded with big multipliers, big crit damage, and even some nice free ice damage. For talent priority, based on this damage distribution pie, I would personally level her basics first, followed by her chain, then her skill and dodge, and then I guess her assist.
3 sharks sink if they're not moving, you know.
Phew, we finally made it to the math. Woo! Now this is in the very early stages of theory crafting, and I did write a damage maximizing algorithm script to help me optimize substats, but still theory crafting in this game is in its infancy, so please take these calcs with a giant grain of salt. Let's start with the W engines, aka the weapons in this game. Her signature Wenjin, the Deep Sea Visitor, is unsurprisingly her best option. This thing basically just provides Ellen 20% crit rate as well as ice damage. The next best option on release is the Brimstone. The Brimstone is Soldier 11's signature Wenjin, and the attack on this thing is the Mega Attack Multiplier, at least that's what I'll be calling it for this video. And this multiplier is an entirely new multiplier, at least based on my initial observations and testing. Thanks to this thing providing a completely separate attack multiplier, it's the next best option for Ellen at around 90% of her signature Wenjin, although in a full team scenario this Wenjin will do a bit worse. After this one, we have the Steel Cushion. Ellen can actually put part of its passive to use through her B3 because she often teleports behind the enemy. Her best free-to-play option is likely the Starlight engine, as this thing provides the Mega Attack Multiplier. However, you do need to dodge counter or be brought onto the field via a Quick Assist. Quick Assists are provided via support characters, so you definitely want to run her with a support character if you're using this Wenjin. Sadly, the other Wenjins start to fall behind, even the Battle Pass one surprisingly. And frankly, Ellen doesn't actually really have a great free-to-play option, as all of these perform significantly worse than her signature Wenjin.
Thank you for your patience.
Up next are her drives, and this is where things get really weird. These drive sets, the 4-piece Woodpecker, 4-piece Puffer Electro, and 4-piece Hormone Punk, their 4-piece set bonuses all provide the Mega Attack Multiplier, which makes them perform weirdly great. Anyway, both the Woodpecker and the Polar set are good consistent options. And as we can see in this chart, I rank all of these drive sets at 4 stars or higher, each with their own comparative advantages and disadvantages. Now, if I had to tell you which one do I recommend for you to farm, I would actually still go with the Polar Metal, which is the Ice Focus set, as while you're farming for the Polar Metal, you'll also get the Great Anomaly set, and you can always craft the Woodpecker down the road. For the 2-piece set bonus, overall, I would recommend the 2-piece Polars greater than the 2-piece Woodpecker greater than the others. For main stats, I recommend crit rate or crit damage for drive 4 depending on which one you need more, ice damage for drive 5, and attack percent for drive 6. As for substats, it's the usual crit rate and crit damage, followed by attack percent and flat attack, and some pen is nice too. Now you want to balance your crit ratio at the 1:2 ratio, but since Ellen has up to 100% free crit damage on her basics and scissor attacks from her core ability, my maximizer is recommending roughly 1.5 to 1.85 crit ratio. Also, don't forget to factor in her signature Wenjin's additional crit rate. So yeah, these weren't the results I was expecting prior to doing my calculations for drives, so please take them with a grain of salt. Also, in a full team, the mega attack sets, so everything besides the polar metal, will be a bit worse because Sokaku gives Bennett levels of attack. Anyway, we'll be getting to the bottom of this after a bit more time, but these are my preliminary findings.
3 sharks sink if they're not moving, you know.
Up next, we have our Mindscapes, and pull priority. What the heck are Mindscapes? These are character dupes or constellations of Zenless Zone Zero. Her signature Wenjin provides the largest damage boost, so I would prioritize that first. Her M1 requires her to do less scissor attacks or flash freezes, which is nice, and it gives a bit more crit rate. Her M2 increases her X specials crit damage, and also improves her combo game, allowing her to chain X2s and B3s in rapid succession. While this is really cool, it surprisingly doesn't increase her damage by a whole lot. M3 adds 2 levels to each of her talents, and M4 is the Hoyoverse special of having a mean constellation for the 4th one. M5 also adds 2 levels to her talents, and finally M6 is unexplored territory, but I'm going to assume it's a 250% bonus damage multiplier increase to her scissoring attack. Either way, her Mindscapes are surprisingly not that great.
Thank you for your patience.
Okay, we're getting to perhaps the most controversial part of the video, but it's her teams. Ellen has the strongest team on launch, and it's this specific team, the 3 levels of Furry: Ellen, Sokaku, and Dogeman. Okay, I lied. The order should actually be Ellen, Lycone, and Sokaku. Yes, the team's order actually does matter as it determines the order of quick assists from the support character. This team is by far and away Ellen's best team. Lycone is just incredibly broken, being the best stunner and applying both 25% ice resistance shred and 35% more stun multiplier. Yeah, that's right, Lycone jacks up 2 multipliers for Ellen. This leads to around 54% more damage for Ellen while the enemy is stunned. Absolutely insane for a stun character to provide support level buffs. And Sokaku is the next best teammate as she provides a myriad of buffs, including up to 1000 attack. And at M4, she gets even better with 10% ice resistance shred. Sadly, replacing either of these teammates is a big DPS loss for Ellen, and that's where some of the issues lie. Still, Ellen is a very usable character with one or the other. Let's say you don't have Lycone, well, you are going to lose a ton of damage, but you can still use another stunner like Anbi or Kaleda. Just do remember to keep Sokaku with Ellen, so that way she gets the faction bonus via having 2 ice characters on your team. Alternatively, if you have Lycone but no Sokaku, you can replace Sokaku with one of the other supports, Rena, Lucy, or even Nicole. This will be Ellen's main archetype consisting of a stunner and a support. However, I'm sure I'm just scratching the surface of what teams are viable for her.
3 sharks sink if they're not moving, you know.
So let's talk about my opinion on Ellen. Ellen is the first featured DPS character in Zenless Zone Zero, and unsurprisingly she's likely the best DPS character on release, especially since she has an incredible full team. However, if you know anything about gacha games, you know how early characters often get power crept. Despite that, it feels great to feel powerful on release, and for at least a few patches, the content will likely have a lot of Ice Weak enemies. I also believe that Ellen will remain as the dominant Ice type attacker for quite a long time. With that being said, if you don't have Lycone or Sokaku, your next best bet is Rena because she is part of the Victoria Housekeeping Co. And well, Ellen loses a ton of damage without Lycone, so you better be prepared to use your 5-star selector on him in the future if you want to maximize your Ellen. Also, Ellen doesn't have a great free-to-play Wenjin, which is rather unfortunate. Regardless, I think Ellen won't disappoint anyone who gets her, as she feels incredible to play and deals some incredible damage. Let me know what you think about her down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Win to Lose, signing out.
Don't look straight at the moon.
Thank you for your patience. I knew this wouldn't be easy. Get back. I'm here.
Time to end this.
3, 2, 1, go! Ah! Don't look at me! Looks like the job's not done. Take this. Shark Nami!